Hey guys, it's Anna. Today we're going to talk about the Ezra Miller situation. Welcome to my channel if you're new to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you're not new to my channel. So this situation is currently unfolding with Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller goes by the pronouns they, them, and so does the child that they kidnapped. I'm not going to be naming the child. I don't personally feel comfortable with it. The child is 18 years old. They are freshly turned 18 years old, and I call them the child because, I don't know, I can also call them the teenager in this video. I know a lot of people were giving me constructive criticism saying that they are 18, they're not a child anymore. I just personally call them a child because in the indigenous courts, they believe that they're still more of a child figure. This Ezra Miller situation is fascinating how there's not enough reporting on this. There's not enough everyday people talking about the situation. It's not as much in the public eye as other scenarios, and I think it's super serious and super important to talk about this. So let me stop giving disclaimers before I get started. Don't forget to go follow the gram. If you follow the gram and you want a private DM from me, let me know in these comments down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on the video. It helps me out as a creator. So if you don't know who Ezra Miller is a creator slash actor slash entertainer who is most commonly known for their characters on superhero shows in the CW shows. So that's what they're mostly known for. They're also coming out in this Flash movie that's coming out, but it seems as though they're postponing it for now because of what's going on. Ezra Miller has a history of alleged abuse towards everyday people. There have been 2 arrest situations where they got violent with people on the street, on the everyday street, and it was actually pretty severe, to the point where they were arrested and held with charges. So it is alleged, but there have been witnesses. People have come out and said that they did this, and I'm inclined to believe the victims who have come forward as well. Ezra Miller is also 29 years old currently, and the teenager that they are with is 18. However, they've known each other since the child was 12 and they were, I believe, 23 was the age. They've known each other for a really long time, and the parents have asked and demonstrated that this behavior has been weird. However, they've never really been able to do anything about it. So the teenager is a Standing Rock activist and met Ezra Miller when they were 12 years old. And their father is an activist, attorney, politician, and member of the Oglala Sioux tribe, which is an indigenous tribe in the United States. They met when the child was 12 and Ezra was 23. I'm going to say the child in that situation because they were a child at the time. At the beginning, it was not a weird relationship. What was weird, however, was that Ezra very quickly befriended this child and tried to get close with this child. So Ezra had visited this region and had become friends in 2012. So in 2017, Ezra allegedly flew out the teenager to London, where the child was 14, and they visited the set of the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, where Miller was shooting at the time. There were chaperones at this event, and it was not as though the parents just sent the child over there, because I've seen that rumor kind of float around. There were chaperones, there were people watching. It wasn't just one child, it was a group of children. And one night, allegedly, Ezra tried to get in bed with the child that was 14. The chaperone, however, caught it and quickly kicked Ezra out of the room. This is where the parents started getting concerned with the friendship. The relationship seemed to put a little bit more limits, but it seemed as though the child was allegedly groomed in the situation by Ezra, and Ezra convinced them to step more away from the parents, get further away, and this is where the relationship started taking a weirder turn and people started to become more concerned with the situation. Now, the parents of the child have come forward and stated that Ezra has been towards them, has hit them before, and they are sharing their concerns. They state that their child is not safe, their teenager is not safe currently. They also accuse Ezra of interrupting the child's schooling in a private institute in Massachusetts, which led to the child dropping out in December of 2021. Allegedly, the parents flew to Ezra's home in Vermont to pick up the child who had snuck off with Ezra there and grab all the child's belongings. However, it seemed as though the child was missing certain belongings and they weren't able to leave with the child. The child allegedly had bruises on their body that Ezra had caused, allegedly, and they were very concerned. So the child then flew to the parents' home and, according to the legal documents, reunited with Ezra in New York City before traveling to Vermont, Hawaii, and Los Angeles together. The filing alleges that the child was with Ezra when they were arrested in Hawaii, which was one of the arrest records I mentioned earlier. With the obtained legal documents, the parents have stated that, quote unquote, Ezra uses violence, intimidation, threat of violence, fear, paranoia, delusions to hold sway over a young adolescent child. The parents of the child have appealed to the courts and Indigenous courts specifically to get a conservatorship over their child because they claim that their child is in an unsafe situation. Now, some people have alleged that the child or the teenager was being parents, but that has not been confirmed either. Many believe that the child is being manipulated to say this by Ezra. Now, the child has released a statement. I'm going to read it to you. I'd like to make a statement to acknowledge the tragedy that is the narrative of the general public and the assumptions made on my behalf by my friends and family regarding my stability and otherwise. I dropped out of BARD 5 months ago. My friend and comrade William passed shortly thereafter. My mind was incredibly impacted and I needed space and time for the processing of my grief. My comrade Ezra Miller, for the entirety of the aforementioned era, has only provided loving support and invaluable protection throughout this period of loss. I am in no way or under any circumstance have ever been during my short-lived adulthood in need of a conservatorship. My father and his allegations hold no weight and are frankly transphobic and based on the notion that I am somehow incapable or coherent thought or opposing opinions to those of my own kindred worrying about my well-being. I am now aware of the severity of emotional and psychological manipulation I was made to endure while at my parents' home. And this is the statement. When this statement came out, a lot of people didn't believe that this was true. So the teenager then filmed a video and posted this video stating that they weren't being abused or manipulated, that they were okay. But in the video, a lot of people have noticed that they are staring off in multiple directions and seem to be staring at someone behind the camera. However, that can't really be confirmed, but I just thought I'd state that here. Now, there have been a lot of misreports on the situation. A lot of websites contradict each other on what is going on, but I really think that this case needs more attention. The courts have wanted the teenager and Ezra to come back, but they can't serve them because they are nowhere to be found. Yes, they have sightings, but they are nowhere to be found. And a lot of people are concerned for the teenager in this situation, especially because this is a 29-year-old person and an 18-year-old teenager. It is a very scary situation, and the child is not to blame here, obviously. They've been manipulated and groomed throughout many years, allegedly. But I hope more media news outlets talk about this, more people have conversations about the situation, because I personally believe that it really needs to be spread. More people need to be talking about this, especially since this is an Indigenous person and someone that usually would not get more media attention because of their culture and their history. Now, next steps for this is they have a showing in the courts in July where they need to be present. So hopefully they go to this, and if not, I hope they find them and are able to serve them. And that's really all that's happening. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. I'll do my best to answer them, and if I can't answer them, I'll try and find an answer. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, comment, like, and go follow all my other social media. I have a Depop, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!